the Shiny Badge Challenge. There's a lot of these videos on YouTube, and I really like them. But I also consider myself a Nuzlocker. I forget there's like other ways to play the game. So I'm watching their videos, and they let Pokemon faint, and they overlevel? I have to do a double take.
Yo, you live like this?
And then I kind of realized that the only way that I'm going to see a Shiny Badge Challenge with a lock variant is if I do it myself. I found this at a park in Utah. That's significantly cheaper than buying an actual Thanos one.
My rules are going to focus a lot more on the mortality side of a Nuzlocke, rather than the ability to actually lose. Even if I do white out, I'll be able to add Pokemon to my team. However, I think it's a lot more devastating to lose a guy that you spent 5 hours looking for, rather than the first dude you met on East Providence Route 3, you know? If a Pokemon's HP hits 0, you throw him in the crypt. Don't overlevel, and you gotta add a brand new shiny before each badge challenge. I was gonna say gym, it's not. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, I got 2 teams. The shinies that I use for the badges that live by the Nuzlocke rules, and I also used different Pokemons to catch the shinies. This is a big reason that people are ridiculously overleveled in their videos. Taking down 60 Pokemon, even with the Let's Go feature, can really add up quickly. Now, this video is going to be very different than the other ones. You see, I started working on this video when I was editing the Eevee-Log video. So I was hatching eggs, you know, I was mostly taking advantage of, you know, any outbreaks for Pokemon that I wanted. And I had a friend helping me with a couple of the hunts. I actually kind of became addicted to having Megan help me. You see, there's this little exploit in the game where if you use the Union Circle and you go to their world and they use Herba Mystica to make a sandwich and then they quit without saving, they get to keep that Herba Mystica, but you get half an hour of increased odds.
Now, is this cheating? Yeah.
What ended up happening is I got all 18 shinies before starting it. It took 190 hours before I even considered challenging Katie. I went everywhere in this game. This game does not want you going to Alpharenda without a high jump Koraidon. But I don't really care what this game wants. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna tell you about every badge fight, but beforehand, I'm going to add a Pokemon to my team from the Shiny Reserves. And when I do this, I'm going to tell the story behind acquiring each one, maybe even the nickname. I might save the nicknames for the supercut because I find my nicknames interesting, but this series is already going to be bloated. So first is my starter. Well, I mean, the real starter is Shiny Locked, so I went ahead and took the Croc. You gotta fight the other ones later, and I want nothing to do with an enemy Crocodile. Oh, hey, a girl? That's almost as rare as a shiny starter, right? Okay, so I decided to get my starter through the Mazda method, and I chose Gibble. On the one hand, Garchomp's shiny is really, really bad. But on the other hand, he is super strong. But on the other hand, his shiny is really, really bad. But on the other hand, no matter how bad things get, I can still always lean on him. But on the other hand, his shiny is really, really bad. This hunt took nearly 2 weeks. I had to hatch nearly 1,400 eggs before it reared its ugly head, and boy was it glorious. I don't know how long it took, but my lowest guesstimation was 40 hours. So, to circle back to my question of, was using Megan's Herba Mystica cheating? My answer is, I spent over 40 hours getting this guy, so I don't rightly care. So I started my journey in Megazoa with a shiny Gibble at my side, and thanks to Megan, I immediately packed it full of the finest items, TMs. Really, I just needed Fire Fang for the first few gyms. I also decided that I needed more than 1 level, but this was one of the biggest problems, honestly. I probably spent over 15 minutes trapped in the prison that was level 1. Because of Nuzlocke rules, I can only do like a quarter of Hoppip's HP, and I can do a third of mine. I had to use Pokédolls to get away from level 3 Lechonks. It was brutal. Finally, I decided to head over to the Woopers because my ground type could do ×4 damage to it, you know, hopefully taking it down before it murdered me. But after that first level game, we were off to the races. After getting stronger and stronger, eventually one-shotting all of the Pokemon on Poco Path, I decided to move on to the South Province. And this is where I really jump-started my training. Be able to take down most of the Pokemon here, too, like Diglett and most prevalent of them all, Mareep. I was sitting pretty. I checked Katie's level and decided, after taking down the Olive Roll, to roll up to the gym at level 15. Now, I am playing this fight safe. I have Higher Fang, but I don't know if it'll one-shot this guy. I only have one level on the Nimble. And I know that he has Struggle Bug. I cannot risk leaving him with only a couple of HP. So I hit him with a little tap, and then I let the Fire Fang fly, resulting in a kill. And then Taratula shows that Fire Fang probably wouldn't have killed. But hey, Bug Bite is gonna do the same amount of damage if I leave him on Death's Door, or if he's, big and strong. So I am more than okay leaving him burnt on Death's Door. And then comes out the Teddiursa. Alright, I hit it good, and Fury Cutter. No big deal. That should do. Okay, it does big damage! I do not know if Fire Fang has the range to take him down. But fortunately, I have a Dragon Terra typing and Dragon Claw. So, if my calculations are right, and judging by my grades in high school, they are not, Fire Fang has a power of 130, but Dragon Claw has a power of 160, which should just barely beat out the rest of Teddiursa's HP. Now off to the first Titan battle, and trust me, after 190 hours, I am so stoked to get Koraidon even the smallest bit of utility. Now, looking at my supply of Pokemon, I decided my best choice is Wooper. I think that I'll have Gibble do most of the work here, but having a second ground type is a nice backup. Not to mention the poison will be great for Brassius, especially since Wooper got them toxic spikes. I was thinking all about the thumbnail with this Pokemon. I wanted like a sexy Pokemon on one side of me, a mascot on the other, and then I'd like a little guy up front. And I love Paldean Wooper's shiny. It's the same color as the Johto Wooper. And since I played the original Johto games, it just warms my lower back pain. The hunt was amazing too. I saw that Wooper popped up as an outbreak, so I decided that I'd take 60 of them out before I went to bed, and then finish the hunt off in the morning. But at number 40, is that blue? Well, there goes my plans for tomorrow. Let's go, little guy. Now, Cloth was rough. He could have ended the run right here. He has this terrible double-edged sword. Block and Vice Grip. Block, so I could not retreat when I needed to, and because Vice Grip did over half of my HP the first time he did it. I just barely got lucky the second time. I was actually happy to have Arven acting as my meat shield to actually take the move that left me in the agony. Whoa! Super speed! Alright, on to Brassius. And for this gym, we're going to introduce a very special señorita. Alright, so one of the best shinies in all Pokemon is Charizard. But after the Gibble incident, I am not ready to wander around the soccer field for another couple screenings of the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. But Black and Red is sick! And it turns out that Orichalcos has the same color scheme. So I called Megan, asked for her to make some fire sandwiches, and I patrolled outside Arizona. And it was odd. In the first hour, I actually found a Growlithe, but I was married to the idea of the bird. I mean, it is so cool. In other games, it's based off, like, dancing, so you had a hula dancer and a Lola. Paldea is based off Spain, and so she's got this absolutely fantastic flamenco dancer aesthetic. She's even standing with that classic castanet pose. It is great! And after 2 hours, I found one. It was male. I won the lottery and got the 1 in 4 male. And the thing is, I wasn't happy. I had the perfect name for this bird. I was so attached to the name. I had Megan help me for another 2 hours just so I can find one and name her Carmen. Of course, a side note, literally 90 seconds after catching Dawn over there, I ran into another shiny Growlithe. So, first I had to train up Orichalcos, up to level 17 for Brassius. But while I was training, hold up. That a Rookity? That a full odds Rookity? Hey, buddy, come on. You're coming with me, we're gonna go defeat evil. It's gonna be awesome. We finished my training and started the fight by poisoning the ground. But just one hit left Zinzin so low, I had to switch to Carmen. That's Dawn. Dawn, what are you doing here? This is supposed to be... Whatever, I'll switch it out after the battle. Whatever, just kill these next two. Then I had the brilliant idea to switch from ×4 damage to not very effective. Then I shed my pesky ground typing and attacked. And while Rock Throw does very little, Trail Blaze left me near death. So if he hits me with Trail Blaze, I'll die. But Rock Throw should be fine. If it has good AI, I should be able to have Dawn take the hit. And at the worst possible time, it used Rock Throw. The Sudowoodo died in the poison, but I lost my Flamenco Dancer. But that was Dawn. I still have Carmen. Can I use Carmen? I don't know. I feel a little weird using her. Let's revisit when the level cap is around 40 so she can actually use her signature move. Next foe we have is the Open Sky Titan, and I have the perfect little shiny for it. Mareep. Oh, this one was brutal. So, I was playing at midnight, and there was a Mareep outbreak. I looked at the shiny and said, that one, absolutely that one, that is sick. So I took down 60 and proceeded to search for 3 hours. And then I went to a sandwich shop and got like an electric encounter sandwich. It didn't really make a difference. After the half hour, I decided to just turn off my Switch, save the 1,200 Pokebucks or whatever. I didn't save. This was awful. I thought maybe I'd have to re-knock out the 60 Mareeps, but that's easy enough. But to my shock and horror, I also lost my outbreaks. Yeah, I was horrified at the time, but I did learn a little technique. If you save at, I don't know, 11:55, you can turn off and turn on your Switch multiple times to get different outbreaks. However, I think with 0 badges, you only have a limited number of what can actually show up. But at this point, I asked Megan for help since the game stole the legitimate means from me, and this was rough. I spent like an hour with shiny level 3 encounters and nothing. But then I discovered a technique that anyone with encounter and shiny power can use to get a Mareep fast. This spot right here can spawn between 5 and 10 Mareeps every 7 seconds. That is an average of 18,000 rolls every 10 minutes, and it just needs to land on 4,096 one time, and you've got a pink sheep. Barney is going to be great for the Open Sky Titan. Yeah, it's got a rock move, but I'm just hoping that Flaffy can shock it first. But by the way, Shiny Flaffy is easily the weakest of the line. Oh, it just stays pink? Okay. So we start out the battle and we trade blows. It hits me with rocks. I hit it with electricity. And while I do more damage, I am in crit range, and I cannot let Flaffy die at its most unattractive shiny form. So I'll pull out Gibble and let him have a... Whoa! Screw me, okay? Sinzin saved the day. Okay, it didn't use pluck, but he goes with that move. We're gonna have one more shiny in heaven. I got lucky with another poison, but his HP is right there. And at the end of the next turn, it's gonna die, but... we're at a juncture. If it uses pluck, a Pokemon is dying. And so I need to put the one I'm okay with dying in. I don't want any though. I need to shepherd Gibble to his final form. I can't let Mareep die ugly, but Wooper, I'd love to see him become a Clodsire, but if anyone has to die, I'd rather have him die cute. We'll go Ultra Slice, you Zinzin! No! As expected, the poison ended the battle, but the bird decided to chow down on some weeds, and I did not know this. This Titan battle goes immediately into the second phase. I don't get to heal. I have a Gibble on death's door, and my hurt Mareep, but at least my orb got recharged. Like last time, I'm just gonna have to hope that the Titan will see Arven as a credible threat, or, you know, use non-damaging moves. That works too. Torment! Pluck! Ah, okay, I survived. Now, I clip its wings. Okay, so in my first playthrough, I had this continuous glitch that all of Arven's cutscenes just had a Pokeball sitting in the middle of the room. Arven took us in this time, and Barney was just sitting there in every scene. Moving on to Geocomo. I'm actually a little freaked out because I don't have a low-level bug or fighting type to add in here. But here's what I will do. The card at the end is stupid strong. So I'm gonna introduce one of them Growliths I found and hit him with a Firestone so I can have something stupid strong. I'm also gonna throw in that Rookidee we ran into because I've actually experienced a couple more deaths than I would have liked to have at this point. So I level everyone up, and then we fight through the laggy nightmare that is Barrage Battle. And then we challenge the boss. I start out with the dog because that Pawniard is steel, so I can melt it away. And hopefully the dog can land a good hit or two on the car before pulling out. And it went exactly according to plan. Well, not ideal because the car's snarl lowered my special attack. But I got some good work done with terastallizing. Next, we sent in Max. Oh, it looks like the car is too nervous to eat berries. That's good. I was really freaked out I was going to start doing that. I got 2 good plucks in, not huge damage, but it looks like we can get the win. Barney jumps in next, avoids the snarl, tanks a wicked torque to the face, and then finishes off the leader of Bully Squad A. Alright, now on to Lavencia, and I think we need to introduce Tamatoa's Fursona. Or crustona, because it's crusty. I don't know. I made it weird by using the word fursona. Basically, I knew that naming myself Tamatoa, I'd have to get a crab Pokemon. I thought since Krabby wasn't in the game, I'd be forced to use Crab Brawler, but after thinking about it a little more, I knew the perfect Pokemon. This guy took way longer to catch than he should have. 8 of Megan's Rock Encounter sandwiches. Over 4 hours of it. And once I finally saw it, I didn't catch it for like 10 minutes. I mean, I'm Tamatoa, right? I wanted to set this guy up as my profile picture. And taking pictures of your own Pokemon is so hard. I thought it would be easier to snap a photo of the wild crab. It wasn't really. You can't move while you're lining the photo up. Finally, I got this one that I was happy enough with. It kind of looks like he's saying, "Shiny!" Decapod was the first Pokemon that could actually train itself. A lot of the Pokemon outside Valencia are weak to rock-type moves. I mean, I don't have counters for the pig, and they have Bulldoze, but I just avoid them. The only time I got close to a problem was when I realized some Pokemon were becoming high-level 24s, and I still had to take on Iono's trainers. And I got roped into Nemona's battle. Fortunately, I made it through the battle pretty much unscathed, but I did need to box Maximilian and Barney. Mr. Walkabout Challenge! He is here! Oh, I thought I was being clever. Alright, gym time! Iono saw that one TikTok.
Please, I'm begging you, stop trying to be influencers. We need electricians.
And she said, why not both? So the battle starts, and Decapod really decides to show off by just missing twice in a row. I mean, naturally, his move wrecks Wattrel when it finally hits. For Belly Bolt, I sent in Barney. He couldn't get the job done, but I do have a little ace in my sleeve, because in the last battle, Rhodes evolved into Gabite. After that, we have a good old-fashioned lion versus tiger. Wait, is Arcanine even based off a tiger? I think he's a dog. Whatever, I won. Now Miss Magius, which is a monster. I sent in my Gabite, but my goodness, this guy is not good. Why is he outlawed in some Nuzlocks? I scratched and I clawed as much damage as I could from Iono, but I came to a Nuzlocker's least favorite place. Who is not moving on to the next badge? And unfortunately, it has to be Max. I actually caught a second Corvisquire, and I'm introducing a bunch of flying types to my team. I'm sorry, Max. Your service was short, but also invaluable. I'm very surprised that it actually managed to land 2 attacks on the Miss Magius, but then Arcanine came in with his signature Extreme Speed.
Next time on the Shiny Badgelocke quest, things are heating up as we challenge Mela. Is that a shiny Torkoal? And the most fab Hatterene show.